my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with my only review of the Belle Collective. So we all know how the last one left off, which is Latrice confronted Lateshia about calling her ex-employee and said, "Cause you did it, bitch." Now, once she said that, Letitia's denying it. She walks up on her and like, "Who you calling a bitch?" Latrice ain't scared. She's like, "What's up?" Now, Selena is now shocked and baffled that this all happened at her birthday. Well, Selena, you want this to be your birthday wish. So you're going to have to hold yourself accountable that you brought this out, okay, on your birthday. Now, Latrice is standing on the fact that Letitia is a compulsive liar. And did y'all hear Tambra while she was walking Latrice off by saying, "Yes, we know, yes, we know." Tambra has not fully forgiven Letitia for the shenanigans that she's done to her, which I don't blame Tambra for. You know what I'm saying? Then Shantae comes in and finds out that they're fighting, and she tells Glenn that they're fighting. Letitia's about to get in a fight. He's like, "Wait, hold up, what's up?" So he wants to be the hero all of a sudden and be there for his wife. Letitia said that there is no proof to her claim, and why would I have any motive to contact any of her employees, current or ex? And then they were like, because you did. I don't know who mentioned it, but somebody said, "Well, call Josh. So Latrice ends up calling Josh. Josh picks up the phone. Latrice asks him the question and wondered about his answer. "Did Letitia contact you?" He said, "Yes, Letitia did contact me." Then Letitia took the phone and said, "Why would I contact you? Didn't you contact me, Josh?" He said, "No, Letitia, you contacted me." Something's telling me it had to have been a time that Josh and Latrice wasn't on good terms. And I think that Letitia thought she had an in and wondered if he was to spill any tea on Latrice. Now, I don't know how long ago this was, but like Letitia definitely had a hand in calling Josh. Do I think Josh called her? I don't think so. But I feel like Letitia looked for a way in to wonder if she was to press him enough, he would reveal something. So I believe Josh. So while they're going back and forth, wondering who's telling the truth, Glenn is removing Letitia away from everything by saying, "Protect your brand. You don't have time for this. Let's not get into this mess." Then, no, Glenn was already telling Letitia, "You're not going to get the answer you think you're going to get. That is Latrice's friend. He's going to be on her side. Why would you expect for him to tell you the truth?" So Letitia is definitely happy and giddy of Glenn removing her, protecting her from all this mess. And she was like, "This is the reason why I married this man. Because regardless of what we go through, he's going to have my back." I said, "Okay, Letitia." So then Letitia, I don't know what happened in this moment. I felt like Letitia was probably revealing that Latrice was talking about her friends, how she talks about the people that is surrounding her, saying how, "I know things about this person. I know what's going on with her. I know what's going on with her." And then one of Latrice's friends ends up walking up on Letitia. And I recognize the friend. She was the one who did the Q&A, the game at Latrice's house last season. And then Glenn walked in and said, hey, don't do that. Get out of my wife's face. Don't be walking up on my wife like that." And I think he knew her because he said her name, which Glenn had a right to do. Glenn had a right to do that because it was a lot of voices and people coming in and out. So it was a lot. So he definitely did his part as a husband by keeping her away from that. Carrie said, "This isn't going to get solved in one night, okay? It's getting too much." But while trying to tell Letitia this is too much, she notices that Marie wasn't by Letitia's side. I thought that was your bestie. I'm seeing Shantae and Glenn protect her. Where was you, Marie? But I see Marie wanting to get to the bottom of it. She is the one asking the questions. Marie is asking Latrice, "What makes you think she had any motive of doing it? What proof do you have to assume that she was contacting your employees?" She said, "Because I know, because they told me." Okay? But why would she do that? I don't know why she would do that. Either to ruin my reputation, put salt on my name. I don't know why she does the thing that she does. But the kicker is, Latrice knows why Letitia does what she does. She just cannot believe that Letitia would do it to her. Just like Marie knows why Letitia does what she does. And then Amanda, she comes in and calls out Marie of being one-sided. She said, "No, I'm not on one side. I just want to know the truth." Latrice doesn't mind that Marie could be on one side because that's her friend. Letitia is her friend. So Amanda asked her, in the event where you find out that this actually happened and Lateshia actually did exactly what she did, will you hold her accountable? Will you tell her that she was wrong? Marie said, absolutely. I need to see it. All I want is to see it. But nothing's going to get resolved. Let's go back and celebrate Selena's birthday. Glenn and Lateshia left. Glenn's upset about what transpired. And then Lateshia is crying in her confessional with a beauty blender in her hand to wipe away the tears because she is just so distraught about how she could be hurt by somebody that she allowed in her space, somebody who she had a real friendship with. And I don't know why it got to this point. Well, Lateshia, I definitely am not on the train of Lateshia as a victim. I'm not on that train because Lateshia is not a victim, okay? But for Lateshia to be sobbing in her confessional about how did this transpire, I don't know what I've done to be treated like this. Look at the shit you've done to other people, Lateshia. You've given off this energy to everybody else. I don't know why you want someone to baby you and woo 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 you. Like the fuck, you're not getting no sympathy out of me. I know that much. So that was the end of that night. So then we see Lateshia at home with her helmet of salvation on, saying she's doing some work. She's been talking to her team all morning in regards to her pilot being edited and pitched in for other networks to pick up, right? She wants to send a highlight reel to get people to be interested in it. And then she praises her mentor who saw potential in her being an entrepreneur. Okay, so then Glenn FaceTimes her. And again, she reminds us that her and Glenn are not in any better place than they were before. But since he showed up being her knight in shining armor, protecting her from the hyenas, and then when they had the graphics of Glenn in knight armor and the hyenas was Latrice, Amanda, and her other friend all coming at her, that was funny. So it makes her feel happy that he was there for her, right? But again, I just feel like that was just a moment for him to step up and do what he needs to do, but don't let that cloud where you guys have been in your marriage. Moving on from there. So Marie comes by just to check in on her because she just could not believe that these two ladies have come to blows. She just cannot believe it. What's interesting to me though, Marie, you have showed your ass since season 1. You have done the most when it comes down to you almost getting into blows with other people. So for you to be so stunned and shocked of seeing Lateshia and Latrice almost come to blows. Did you not forget when you and Lateshia was about to fight her at the reunion? Were you not there right next to Lateshia when Lateshia called Latrice an insecure bitch? You was about to fight security to get to Latrice. So I don't understand how you are so shocked to see these two women act crazy when you've act crazy as well. So Lateshia tells Marie she felt like she was about to get jumped. And talking about the assumption of Latrice's energy being high because she assumed that Lateshia sent Shantae. And then she said, I don't need nobody to speak for me. And the whole assumption that I contacted Josh, that's not true. Then all of a sudden, Lateshia shows messages on her phone to Marie that she's been receiving text messages or some type of messages from Josh back in 2024. You know, he filmed the show back in that time. And Josh was pretty much venting to Lateshia that Latrice has been keeping him from coming out, keeping him from coming to events, keeping him at work. So I don't know if that proved anything, Lateshia. It's not absolving you. Because if he's just venting of how his boss was treating him, then that's not really tea. And your involvement of knowing what Josh was going to say, or as far as like hearing information from him, I think that you wanted to still push for the conversation and still accept some kind of information that you were willing to use in case something happens. Because if you haven't spoken to him, I think it was March that was revealed. It is now 2025 at this time. You haven't said anything. So this was definitely old. And this was probably around the time that Latrice and Josh were in a good place. But this still doesn't absolve you from not contacting him. And of course, since you say you've never spoke to him on the phone, there are other ways you can call somebody, not just from a direct phone call. Okay, there's Instagram calling. Okay, they have all different types of webcam calling. And then there's DMs. Like there's other ways of contacting somebody that's not a direct phone call. So Lateshia, you can mess with the semantics, okay? Marie doesn't think that Latrice is telling the truth about Lateshia calling her employees because she saw the messages. She thinks that Latrice is blowing out of proportion, looking at it as a give back. Is it though, Marie? I mean, let's talk about how what you did to destroy Latrice's reputation and her business the first season. When you dressed up like Lil Bo Peep and you talked about the hair that you purchased and made it seem as if what she gave you was worthless. To say it was blown out of proportion, the things you done was blown out of proportion. I'm sorry, Marie. I understand you trying to be on a different page, but it's just like hypocritical coming from you. So then Shantae comes by and she instantly calls out Marie for not being there, okay? Not rallying around Lateshia when it was just her and Glenn. Marie was rallying both of them, okay? She said, let's not do that, okay? I was there. I didn't go nowhere. Now, we saw the scene. Marie was back and forth, telling Latrice, don't do that, calming Lateshia down, wanting to get to the bottom of things. So she wasn't just on one side. She was seeing everything and was watching everything and was wondering what is going on with y'all. That's what she was doing. And then she said, listen, you got about 4 or 5 people coming at you. What the hell you expect me to do? Marie can only do so much. She cannot fight Letitia's battles for her. She cannot jump into a situation that has nothing to do with her. All she wants is understanding and how she can fix it. That's all she wants. Then Tisha all of a sudden switches up. It don't take much for Lateshia to switch up. To now think that Shantae had her back the entire time, but Marie stayed behind with Latrice. It really has me confused because do you even like her? Really, Lateshia? After all this time, you're not questioning Marie's loyalty because she wants to know how you guys have gotten to this point? You are believing Shantae, who's only been here for 5 minutes, don't know the whole ordeal between you and Latrice, hasn't been here. Marie has been here. That's very interesting. And then Marie was also talking about when her and Latrice weren't in a good place, Lateshia didn't come in the middle. She was wondering how we can fix it. But I really do think that Lateshia was in the middle because, Marie, you wanted to convince Lateshia so bad that Latrice is a snake. I told you, Lateshia. Latrice is a snake. She's not really your friend. I told you that. I told you. Remember that? Because I thought I was tripping when Marie said that Lateshia wasn't in the middle. She absolutely was. And I feel like that's what made you mad the most, was that she never said that Latrice was wrong. She always told you maybe you have to give her the benefit of the doubt. If she said she didn't do this, then why do you believe that she did? If she said she was trying to stop it, why are you so hell-bent on not believing her? Remember that? So I agree with Lateshia for a little bit. And that's where Lateshia was in her confessional talking about she was mostly mad at me because I never said that Latrice was wrong. And since I never said that she was wrong, she assumed I wasn't on her side. So Marie wasn't trying to be on that same page like Lateshia is, because she wants to be on both sides. She's not instantly coming out and accusing Latrice of being wrong. She wants to hear both sides and give off, maybe this could be a misunderstanding. This is Marie really trying to turn a different page where she's not going to instantly assume somebody as the wrong side because she has been not accountable for her actions and she hasn't really been admitting of the things she's done wrong when she's always accusing somebody else being wrong. So that's where I think Marie is. But Lateshia, I do think you do be expecting that same courtesy out of Marie when you done it for her. Even though you were neutral and you were trying to have Marie see Latrice's side on things, because let's not forget, Marie was wrong throughout the entire ordeal between her and Latrice from season 1. Okay, and all Latrice did was return the favor and return that same energy. That's it, that's all. So Lateshia says she don't need nobody to have her back. She's blessed and highly favored. She appreciates her friends are going to be there, but the attacks won't keep on coming. She ain't got nothing to fear. Okay, fine. So then Latrice, she has a do-over at her house to have a better celebration of Selena's 50th birthday because she hated the way that it ended with her and Lateshia getting into it. So she made sure she invited the people who she wanted to invite to have a good night. Marie, Tambra, and Selena. No Lateshia. Selena appreciates the do-over as well as Latrice sending an apology because that's not what she wanted. She wanted her to have a drama-free birthday. Again, Selena, while I'm very happy that Latrice is showing up for you as a good friend, you also need to be accountable that you want them to have this conversation. So we can't put the blame on Lateshia and Latrice for messing up your birthday when you pretty much gave them the opportunity to do that. Then Latrice talks about being admitted to the hospital because she was having blood clots, and she didn't realize that blood clots were a very, very serious thing. And if it weren't for her real friends being there for her in the hospital, I don't think she would have made it. And she's talking about Selena, Tambra, and her husband. They were there for her when she was in the hospital. Now, we're discussing the fight between her and Lateshia. Marie don't understand the back and forth between them. Like, how did we get here? Latrice is still standing on the fact that Lateshia has been reaching out to her ex-employees, okay? And Marie was like, what would they have to say about you firing them? She said, I don't know, but I know is that I have proof. Marie wants to know, what proof do you have? That they told me. Now, I know that that's not enough, but we all know how Lateshia is. I feel like we shouldn't even discredit whether or not Latrice has proof or not. We all know how Lateshia gets down. We've seen proof of that. What she did to Tambra, what she did to Selena and Gucci, what she did to Akeisha, what she tried to do to Antoinette. We've seen it. So Marie is pretty much talking about how the friendship between Latrice and Lateshia was something that nobody else really knows. Okay, so because we don't know the real ordeal of their friendship, how can we say y'all can't come back from that? Like Latrice said, I could be cordial with her. I just don't see a friendship with her. I don't trust her, and I don't think she should. So now we see Carrie. She's back at home getting reacquainted. We know she goes back and forth with filming in Jackson and being back home with her kids and her husband. We see Matt helping out with their homework. And then her parents came by, and the first thing that her parents do is nag on the fact that Carrie don't be cooking. Okay, the kids are eating out all the time, and she wants them to have a good, wholesome meal. Now, Carrie knows that she works a lot, and she knows there isn't any time for them to be eating wholesome meals. But what I didn't appreciate was Matt saying, yeah, we tired of eating out. Yeah, she don't be cooking. Yeah, we could deserve a home-cooked meal. Well, you can cook too, Matt. Don't you have more free time than Carrie does? You're the one overseeing the kids' homework, so you know how to run the house when she's not there. You know how to feed the kids, so why don't you go ahead and do it? Let's not do this gender role thing where you can't do anything because you're not a woman and you're not supposed to be cooking. Let's not. So Carrie gives us more of her background, that she grew up with having entrepreneurial parents. Her father was her basketball coach. Her mother had her own business before it was even a thing for women to own their own business. So she comes with that tenacity of going out and get it, all right? She's talking to her parents about going back and forth to Jackson. She's part of this new friend group. And while I'm dramatic, these ladies are very dramatic, okay? We talk about Selena's party, Selena's wish, how she wanted everyone to get along. She opened the floor for everybody to discuss how they feel. Don't know why she did that. And then we got two ladies going back and forth, knowing they have a lot of history, and they haven't been able to get it right. So we got a little ratchet. Now, her mom definitely was like, maybe you need to spend your time with those folks. You know, maybe they're not worthy of your time. You know, you got too much going on for you to be dealing with this type of shenanigans. So as far as having other things to focus, we're talking about the struggle of her mobile location of Brick and Spoon. You know, she renovated it. She thought it was going to be a success. They wanted to bring that Mississippi mojo down to Alabama. And having two successful locations in Mississippi, she thought she was going to have another successful location. Turns out it ain't working. Now, her mom was like, okay, if it's not working, put it up for sale. Carrie was like, if I put it up for sale, then I'll lose money. Hey, you got to cut your losses. That's the price of business. You got to do what you got to do. And her mom was right, because it's not something that Carrie is doing. It's the economy. Like, it's very hard to get a business up and running of any kind. But if you're putting up a new restaurant, it's going to be hard to get revenue. It's going to be hard to get traction, get people to talk about it, because nobody is sustaining on holding on a location. It is happening where I'm at. I'm in the Inland Empire, and there are so many businesses that are starting up and closing before the month happens, because the pay of rent or lease is very high. There's not a lot of foot traffic. It's very difficult. So just cut your losses, all right? Now, Carrie knows that her mom was going to be hard on her when it comes to just saying cut your losses, get rid of it. You got two successful locations here, focus on that and start fresh for another location. She kind of wanted her mom to be a bit softer. Like, damn, Mom, I know I'm having a hard time admitting that this is going to be something I have to get rid of, but can you at least give me some sympathy? Can you give me some type of encouragement? Like, I know, baby, I know how you really want this to be another location to be successful at, but there's more locations you can do. There's more locations you can find. Don't let this be a failure. You're not a failure. You're going to keep on trying. It's what you do best. Like, and I get where Carrie is saying. And I also get what her mom is saying. Like, she's one of those moms that don't do that cookie cutter crying shit. All right? Put your big girl panties on and do what you got to do to keep your business up and running. All right? I get it. So moving on from there, we got Lateshia. She is at a paint shop with her mom, and they're painting like ceramics and plates and stuff, spend some quality time. And since she's so busy, knowing that her mom has had trouble holding things because her mom has rheumatoid arthritis, so she wants to make sure that her mom is getting the care that she needs. She got a couple of shots in her hand, and she's concerned about her health, but she's also letting her mom know that while she's been on her financial independency journey, she thanks her mom for putting on her credit card, so that way she can build up her credit so she can get her own credit card. Lateshia, you mean to tell me you never applied for your own card, let alone your own debit card, your own bank account? You had to ask your mom to be put on her credit for you to build up your credit? What? Lateshia, you really tried to sell us this dream that you are a boss bitch, independent bitch, you know how to get on your own, you don't need a man. But you've been dependent on your husband's money all this time. So you're not an independent woman. You are a kept woman. And at the age that you are now with your own child, now you want financial independency? Saying how she's been under Glenn's fingerprints for so long, she wants to be able to get things on her own and have things set up so that she's not in a situation where she has to be in this position, that she has to stay. Because Glenn is the main breadwinner. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. Oh God, I really don't like that. So it's screaming to me that Lateshia was a Stepford wife. And then when she first got married to Glenn, her mom told her to get her own bank account. And then Lateshia said Glenn wasn't going to go for that. Who the fuck is he? He has no control about whether or not you should get your own checking account. He ain't God. He doesn't own the bank. He's not, like, you banned from own. I'm telling y'all, like, are you kidding me right now? You could have still did it and didn't have to tell him nothing. What's that going to do? That ain't going to hurt him. Then Lateshia tells us that as women, we sacrifice a lot for our husbands. You know what I'm saying? We sacrifice our dreams and our wants in order for us to keep the peace. There would have been a non-negotiable for me to have my own checking account. I don't give a fuck what my husband thinks or says. You chose peace because you chose that was a battle that you did not want to win. I would not have surrendered. To want my own financial independency, we would have had to have it on my own bank account. I don't give a fuck. I would be fighting to the day I die to still have my own bank account. And let me tell you something. When I graduated high school, I opened up my own checking account with the help of my mother. And I've had that same bank account since I was 17. Because that was the first independency step for me, was to have my own checking account so I could make my own money, monitor how I'm spending. That was me gaining independency and learning how to navigate being an adult. So what do you have in your name, Lateshia? Is everything tied to Glenn? So when you pitch for this show and the money you've made from this show, that has not gone to your account? The money you've made from this show has gone to a joint account with him where he's overseeing the money you've made on this show? That is a problem for me. Where he can control how the money goes in, goes out? You have no say so? No, absolutely not. So then we talk about the recommitment. How did her mom feel? Her mom doesn't even remember what happened, let alone wanted to know what happened, because she didn't want to go. She only went to support her daughter. Lateshia said, I only did it because I wanted to say things just to get him happy. I just wanted to say things so that way he can believe what I'm saying is the right thing. Then why did you have the damn commitment ceremony then? And Letitia's mama, I fucks with her mama. Okay, her mom has been married 6 times, and her mom sees anything that's gonna be wrong, anything that she's not gonna deal with, she dips. I'm not taking no kind of disrespect. I'm not accepting no wrongdoing, no mistreatment, no nothing. You do something that I don't like, I am leaving. So how was it that your mama knew when bullshit was approaching, she dips? When you see bullshit approach, you figure it out. And I feel like you wanted to come up with a different generational cycle that you will still stick it out when the going gets tough. You'll still fight for your relationship. Again, there is nothing wrong with fighting for your relationship, but if you're the only one fighting for it, then it's a lose-lose at this point. You might as well go ahead and just end it right there. So she asked her mom. She asked her mom, "Do you know when it's time to get a divorce?" She said, "I can't explain that to you. It's just one of those feelings where you don't give a damn anymore." I don't think Lateshia has reached that point where she don't give a damn no more, because right now she wants to keep Glenn out of her professional business. Okay. And believing that that's going to change because he gets so mad that she wants to elevate herself. She wants to find things that makes her happy. So then we get him a bit possessive and territorial when he's calling her, and if she doesn't pick up on the first ring, he demands that she's FaceTiming. He demands that she FaceTimes him. After all the shit you done, you want to be on her? Wondering where she at, what she doing, who she with? She should have did that to your ass. Because you definitely don't be where you say you be. You don't be doing what you say you be doing. And her mom was on demon time, and I was on the same time she was. The next time he demands that you FaceTime him, I suggest you make it seem as if you're laying in the next bed with another man. That way he can satisfy his own curiosity, give him a taste of his own medicine. And I agree. So right now, Glenn is thinking that Lateshia is moving the way that he was moving when he was cheating. Because you're not available for him. Now he's wondering what you're doing. Elevating herself. Figuring out how to get away from your dumb ass. That's what she's doing. So it ends up with Lateshia saying, "I am doing what I have to do so I can back up my words. I'm going to make a change, and I'm walking like I'm talking." Sure. Cliff is arriving home from his trip to Colombia. Latrice is making him a welcome home dinner, but she can't cook. So she invites Amanda to help her cook. She's making steak, potatoes, vegetables, all that kind of stuff. But the mashed potatoes, instant mashed potatoes packet, was expired. The butter was expired. So you fed him expired potatoes with expired butter. I don't know if that steak was cooked all the way. I hope Cliff's stomach was okay. That's all I want. And it definitely shows. Latrice don't cook. I mean, she works all the time. I don't know why you didn't just hire a chef or go to your restaurant and order a meal and have it plated. Don't know why you didn't do that. So now they're just talking about how it was his trip, and then Cliff was informed about the fight while he was on his trip. He didn't like that Latrice was getting out of character. That's not who she is. I mean, she doesn't like confrontation, but she's not afraid of nobody. And then she makes this comment about Glenn coming at a woman, getting in her face. I was like, well, that's not what happened, Latrice. He was standing up for his wife. So if he wanted to protect his wife from being jumped by another woman, he had a right to step in. So don't put that on him. Cliff is saying that Glenn is doing collateral damage. You know, he's a desperate man right now. He's trying to save his marriage. Latrice said, well, don't come at me with that shit. Now, Cliff said he don't appreciate that part of Glenn. He said, I can't hang out with somebody who comes at a woman like that. I don't tolerate that. Which is very interesting, Cliff. Because it wasn't that long ago where you followed Latrice to the club, yanked her out of the club, cussed at her in front of the cameras. Interesting. I guess you reformed all of a sudden. I don't know. Then the whole thing about, we black, we want to build a legacy, we don't want to tear it down. She said, I'm all about building a community coming together, but I don't want nobody who is trying to be against that. I don't want to be surrounded by somebody who is lying, conniving, ready to tear me down. I'm good. I want to focus on my health. So then we are at Letitia's house. Glenn pulls up with some Pizza Hut. She wants to talk about the party. And again, reminding us that they're not in a good place, but they're in a better place. This disclaimer that Lateshia has been doing every time we see her in the scene with Glenn is getting on my fucking nerves. It's like she's trying to tell us, while filming this show, I was not under the influence of being happy with my husband. Okay, I am not faking and fronting like I have been before. I am being honest and upfront. We're not in a good place. Oh my God. So she wants to thank him for having her back. And he said, I'm always going to be there for you. I'm not going to allow nobody to play in your face ever again, right? So he also said it's hard for him to accept where they are in their relationship. Then he talks about her business. He talks about her talk show, and that we haven't had a conversation about it. He is wondering if she's happy with the way that they're going. And he thought that they will be coming together, building together, being there for each other. Then he mentions that I'm being treated like I'm just dicking a paycheck. Are you not just a dick and a paycheck, Lynn? Because if you're not showing support to what she wants, then yeah, all you are is dick and a paycheck. Because he said that she only comes around or wants any kind of attention from him when she needs money or she wants some dick. The shoe fits, wear it. I don't understand. So he is pretty much projecting that she's moving differently. He's recognizing that the reason why she's moving like this is because she's trying to have a backup plan in case he messes up again, and I don't trust him. Ding, ding, ding. That is the answer. So it's a back and forth between the two of them. She is requesting more independence in her relationship and that things are not going to be the same as they was before. He said that's what it feels like. That's the case. I'm not going to go down this road because we've gone down this road before. Then he makes up this comment about how, you shit every day, right? And she said, not unless you eat the same stuff. So if you keep doing the same shit, expect to keep shitting the way you've been shitting. Don't be expecting different results if you're not going to do nothing different. So Lateshia is giving us a front row seat that she's not leaving this man, but she wants to operate differently while staying with him. Because she wants to figure out her financial independence, take on all kind of job opportunities while being married to him, and wants that to work for her. And it's not meant for him to be understanding about it. Then he kind of wants to bust her bubble about how she used to be a housewife, and she said, I'm not that anymore. So Lateshia, if you were just a housewife, then how did you get into this boss bitch, entrepreneur, queen of brunches if you're just a housewife? That's not what you've shown us originally on the show. So she wants to set her boundaries and set her expectations about how she wants to move forward. And this is where Glenn was pretty much discussing his insecurity by talking out of fear with how he has an issue with who she's hanging around with. And that is her mentor. How she's putting all her attention being around this other man, and it's looking like she's opening that door to cheat on him. And he said, I know men like that. At some point, you're going to owe him more than just a thank you. You're going to owe him more than just a percentage of your money you're making. Sir, you think so low of your wife that because she's working so closely with a man that can expand her opportunities to be more financially stable, you think that he's going to be slimy and want sex from her? No, that's the type of shit you operate on. You want something in return, and you want certain type of favors. So fuck out of here with that shit. That insecurity was reading so loud to me, I really didn't like that. And this is also how I know that Glenn wants to suck the life out of his wife, because you want her to be so dependent on you that you want to be responsible for the credit she's going to get for being on the show. You want the attention. You want the thank yous for being on the show when this wasn't your idea to begin with. You didn't pitch this show. You didn't think of this show. Hell, you on the tugboat majority of the time that the show was on. Now that you have a front row seat of an official castmate, you're enjoying the benefits, you're enjoying the popularity and the attention, you're getting on this reality show. Now you're thinking, this is my shit. And you gotta get with the program when you on my shit. Glenn, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Okay? Because you feel like another man's a threat to you. Because it's giving support you're not giving your own wife. There's a reason for that. And I don't think that her mentor wants her in that way. But for you projecting your insecurity, projecting your fear on that, get out of my face with this shit. And hell, if he is telling her that she is worth more, she should take the advice and leave your dumb ass. Leave your fucking trifling ass. Like, the hell? So right now, she's just laying out the plans of how she wants to take a few $1,000s to open up a bank account. He said, that's fine. He still wants to know, do you trust your husband again? Because this is when he feels like she's treating him like he's not smart enough to be in the meetings, be a part of her strategy team, help her elevate. No, you think you're not smart enough to be in these meetings. You think you don't know what they're talking about. You don't know how to market or how to have any ideas to help her elevate her brand. Wasn't you just as lost about how to navigate owning a box truck business? You didn't know where to start. When she gave you the entire plans on how to get it started, that was so confusing for you because you assumed she was going to do all the work, get everything all set up, and you reap the benefits and gain all the money without learning how to operate on how to run a business. Get out of my facial. So, as far as trusting him, she is just trying to recognize the little things that he says about how you're saying you're not just a dick in a paycheck. So I'm choosing to be celibate. Now that's a part of her journey because she wants to be clear when she is navigating this part of her marriage. She don't want to be digmatized. Okay? But if you don't want to have sex with your husband, then go ahead. Sign my papers and give my divorce. Shout out to Winter. Sign these papers. Get a divorce. If you don't want to fuck your husband anymore. It is that simple, Lateshia. So he walks off and be like, what? Really? So you want me to be walking around with dry dick all day? Nigga, go jerk off. There are porn sites that can help you out, okay? But he gets up. He feels disrespected that you don't want to fuck your husband. Is that what that is? No, I'm talking about energy. And while he's walking away, he's not listening to her. She's like, if you leave while I'm talking, I'm done. He left. And what is Lateshia doing? Calling him, blowing his phone, which is what he wants her to do because she can't handle him leaving. So she's like, you didn't even give me a chance to explain. Like, let me tell you what I'm saying. He's like, I don't want to hear what you're saying. You don't want to fuck your husband. And he said, listen, if you don't want me, just say no so that way I can leave and do me. That's what you've been wanting to do. Do you. All right? So that was pretty much the end. I don't know if this is a setup for her to leave, but I doubt she'll do it, or she wants him to do it without her doing all the work. I have no idea. But that was pretty much the end of the episode. I mean, as far as celibacy in a marriage is very wild to me. Usually people practice celibacy before marriage so they can learn how to trust themselves, love themselves, and know that they're not going to be mistreated again. They have a prize that needs to be protected, and they're going to wait for that right person to treasure it, right? For Lateshia, using this type of halt in her marriage so that she can have better clarity, I just don't think this makes any sense. But, I mean, whatever. That's it. That's all. I don't have nothing else. But please stay tuned for my next video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.